So thoughts on being with Sensational, Sherri, at the start of your singles career, and indeed your theme music?
Yeah, well, and it's funny, you know, neither one of those things I liked. No, I mean, I'm always, I was honest about that, at the beginning. You pictured, Kevin Nash used to always make this joke about, who wouldn't want to be, the big tough guy with a cigar hanging out of his mouth, flying a helicopter, gun in one hand, and a hot chick under his arm, beating everybody up. Who doesn't want to be that guy? And I wanted to be, I pictured, in the theater of my mind, myself being a different kind of bad guy. And they, we had, I believe it was, we were doing a Japan tour. And so I had just done the turn, went over there, wrestled a couple singles matches, we're flying back, and they had done a couple TV tapings. Unbeknownst to me, Sherri comes out, does the promo, talks about me, they've done the music, and they're giving me the rundown, Pat Patterson, again, back then, people say, like, what was creative telling you back then? There was no creative back then. There was Pat, Pat and Vince, and we'd sit and talk stuff, and that was the creative process. But he was telling me, this, that, and the other, and I'm like, I'm whining, and then he says to me, Pat he's a wonderful guy, and he doesn't try to be mean, and to this day I'm sure he didn't realize, like, oh, that hurt. But he was brutally honest. He said, look, he said, you just came out of a tag team. He said, Sherri's gonna elevate you. He said, you go into a singles just by yourself. He said, nobody's gonna care about you. He said, we put you with Sherri. She's been with DiBiase, she's been with Macho Man. We're using Sherri to elevate you. And all of a sudden I thought that, and as much as that stung, I thought, holy cow, you're right. She's only been with top guys. And first TV, back, I went to Sherri and I told her, all of that, and I said, I'm so sorry, and let's do whatever we got to do. And she and I, just started coming up with stuff, and she was spectacular. I mean, I had worked with Sherri in AWA a little bit, but she was so awesome. And, there were times that she would see, guys maybe not wanting to help me out, so to speak. And she'd come back after the match and anytime that goes on, you throw them out to me. All right, and I'd throw them out there, and she would slap them and break their back, and they'd run back into that ring so fast. And like, don't throw me out there again. Just sound a little bit for me, man. But I mean, she was tremendous, and Pat was right. She did elevate me, and I didn't even, that was really one of the, obviously my maturing process took a lot longer than it probably should have, but that was one step in sort of my maturing process, certainly from a professional standpoint, being able to recognize, sort of the pecking order and how things needed to go and where you needed to take yourself. And